Ben Sherman with In Your Face with Jacob Adler and Grant Texan. First topic, Joe Flacco signed a new contract for 6 years and $120.6 million, highest paid quarterback at the time until Aaron Rodgers. Jacob, what do you think? Is he worth it or no?
It is a great deal for the Baltimore Ravens and Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is the anti-Peyton Manning. He steps his game up in the playoffs, and the Ravens do not need him to be a big performer in the regular season. They are just so talented all around. In the playoffs this year, he utilized his weapons of Jacoby Jones and Torrey Smith, and he had a great playoffs, and he was arguably the best quarterback in that entire playoffs.
I do think Flacco, he's a good quarterback. He won the Super Bowl. But his QBR has been in the bottom half of the league on his career. It's really
Doesn't matter. What about the playoffs?
No, it's his total QBR. And also, you got Ray Rice in the backfield, so just hand it off to him when you need to. His defense was good. It's going to struggle next year because he's lost a few pieces. So I don't know if he's going to be able to repeat the success that the Ravens are expecting him to.
But it's a good deal. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and he's proven that he can win in the playoffs. He has an amazing win percentage in the playoffs. It doesn't matter what he does in the regular season because the Ravens are going to get there anyway.
He will need to improve, but I do think in the playoffs he's got it down.
All right, the Lakers. After losing Dwight Howard, should they throw it all away, maybe tank at a young talent, or should they try and rebuild and maybe sign some of the remaining free agents? Go, Grant.
For most teams, I would say just tear this down, but this is the Los Angeles Lakers. They don't rebuild. They got the money. They can go out and sign someone else. They have the Jerry Buss mentality. They're going to get it done, whatever it takes. They can do it. I think they're not going to rebuild. They're just going to reload, sign some new talent, and I think they'll be back.
Kobe Bryant this year is making $30 million. The Lakers have one player signed past this year, and that's Steve Nash. This whole roster is screaming rebuilding process. They only have one contract on the books this year, and if they tank this year, they can get Kobe's replacement, and they can set themselves up for a few lotteries, and then all of a sudden they'll be back in the playoffs.
All right, next, Washington Nationals. Not a good start. They're 8 games back of the Atlanta Braves in the NL in their division. And what do you think, Jacob? Are they going to make the playoffs or no?
I think this is not a playoff team. Last year, they got lucky with performances from Ian Desmond, who was an MVP candidate before his season was cut short to injury, and Danny Espinosa. Danny Espinosa was hitting below the Mendoza line this year in the major leagues. They sent him down to AAA. Now he's hitting below the Mendoza line in AAA. They traded Mike Morris, and Mike Morris was not the most healthy guy, but he also added pop to a lineup that had to deal with Adam LaRoche batting 190 for the first month and a half of the season. Steven Strasburg has been more durable this year, but he's not the superstar that they're expecting him to be, and they have no run support from him on offense, and he's pitching late in games, but he's not getting the run support to get wins.
All right, Grant, what do you have to say?
I do think that the Nationals would be able to squeak into the playoffs. They still got time. We're not even at the All-Star break, and they do have the talent. I do think they've been severely underachieving this year. They can step it up. They'll play better. I got faith in their talent.
But I mean, Bryce Harper cannot stay healthy. Denard Span, who was their big offseason acquisition, he's a league average center fielder by any stats you want to use.
They'll step it up. They still have the talent, I believe. They've
What about Ryan Zimmerman's glove?
They've caught some tough breaks so far, but they got time. It's still July.
All right. Let's just end this before this argument turns into a fight in the parking lot.
Wilson
For
Ramos.
Ben Sherman, this is Jacob and Grant. Good night.